Awesome. Hello, welcome back to Faraday Academy for the 12th edition of this live stream. Just talking about the repo for a minute. So this is basically what we've been working on if you haven't tuned in before. It's in this repo gwenf / curriculum. Check off an item, it should update on in the database. So I have to hook those up. Yeah, so let's get into the app. I already have, hey Edgar, how are you? I already have the server running. I have the back end on port 5000 and then the front end on port 8080. It's a Vue app. And then here's the code. So the front and the back end. So I'll start with the front end in the display curriculum page, which is, let me pull up the page, which is this page. Where is it? Yeah. Yeah, so it's basically in these sections. I want to be able to check off multiple things here. And also edit these inline. So I guess I'm going to, well, let me hook up the editing first. So the first thing I need to do is on hover, I need a pencil to appear so that people can see that it's an editable field. So I'm going to find the icons here again in Vuetify, which is the Vue UI component framework I'm using. So, oh right, they're using material icons, so I can look up which one I want to use here. So let me search for pencil. I could just try pencil in the code and assume it's going to work. A grease pencil. Yeah, so that one looks fine to me. Or maybe I'll put a square around it. Maybe I'll use pencil box outline. Let me try that. And I'm going to search the repo for icons. So I can just copy whatever I put in last time. So in my form, I already have an icon here. So here we go. I'm just going to take this icon from the form and so I guess for right now I'm going to have it for each one of these sections. So I'm just going to start with the section header and put an icon. Let me see how this looks. So I don't want this yet. And then I have to start with this MDI prefix to use the icon with Vuetify. So I'll do MDI pencil. And nothing. Okay, it's showing up here. So I think I just put it in the wrong place. Oh, I put it in section, right. So I'm going to take it out of there and put it here in the header. So alright, so that's good. So I think, oh yeah, let me try the square outline. Pencil box outline. Because I think I don't want this circle around it right here. That looks weird. I only want the pencil to appear on hover. So for right now, let me try pencil box outline. Okay, I think that looks a bit better. And because I don't want that circle on hover, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this VBTN. Oops. All right. And then I'm going to give this icon a class. I guess I was going to say maybe it's built into Vuetify to do something on hover, but it would be just as easy to give it a class in Sass, which is what I'm going to do. So let's call it editable icon maybe, and save that. And then I'll find my display curriculum Sass file. In assets, no, in Sass. So display curriculum, no, that's where I display the list. Oh, I don't actually have a display curriculum file, so I'll create it. Display curriculum.sass, and let me go ahead and import that into here. And I think this one isn't being used yet, but I'll clean that up later if I don't end up using it. So in the display curriculum file, where is it? So I have this editable icon, but I'm going to wrap it in display curriculum page so the styles don't affect anywhere else. So editable icon is nested inside of that. And then I'm going to, I guess I'll just put the hover down here. So, and hover is display block. Then normally I'll have to put display none. And let me see if that works. Okay, that didn't work. So let me see. Editable icon. Let me first make sure that I spelled it the same way before I start. I might not have spelled it the right way, did I? Okay, it looks like I had it right. So let me see why it's not showing up. So it doesn't look like it has my class on it. Maybe I'll just use one of these classes. Yeah, maybe I will. So I'll use this one. Sweet. All right. But now it's not, so let me see. So on hover it should display block. Oh, that was, yeah. So it's basically not there to hover over, of course. So I need to see if I remember how to do this. So this is display none, but then when I hover over the H1, I want the pencil to display. So I think I'm going to have to give this a class, so I'll call this, because the icon will always be nested inside a parent, so all of the parent elements for the icons, I'll call it hover display. I don't even know right now. Okay. should say hover icon container, maybe. All right. So let me put that in here, and then when this is hovered over, so and hover here, then I'll do this. So that's actually nested 3 deep, which is okay. Any more than 3, I don't really like to do that, but I think this is fine. So display block, sweet. So I probably want display inline there actually. Awesome. So then I can make this clickable, and I'll just do that for the rest of them. It's not too pretty. I would like to fix the, what is it, the vertical alignment there. So maybe I'll do that. I'll put display flex and align items center. Okay, well that's better at least. And then I'll give this some margin left. Thank you, nickname. Let me give this some margin left. Well, for the pencil anyway. Margin left. Let's say 15 pixels. That's too much. Too much. Let me do 8. Alright, that seems more reasonable. And then I think the styling on that's fine for right now. So now I just have to give these classes to all the other elements that I want to. So let me copy this. No, this part, the icon. And I want it here too, so let me, actually I don't need the extra space in there. And then I'll give this the same class. So the hovering should work here too. Yep, sweet. It does move a bit. I think the icon is bigger than this line height for this row, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. So here I want these section names to be hoverable and clickable. The only thing is for these, especially with Vuetify, sometimes their clicks are weird. So I think, because this whole header is clickable right now, so I think that's going to be a bit more difficult, but I'll see how I can do that. But I'll start with the resources and projects first and go ahead and put the icons there. So yeah. What was this doing here? I can't remember. Oh right, I wanted to make these clickable last time. So that's another thing. So in the database, so for each resource, like for each one of each item here and each item here, it's, of course it has an is completed. When you check it off, it'll go to true. And then it has a name and a URL. So this is the name, and I wanted to make it clickable so that the name will be a link and go to whatever the URL is. But like you can see, this whole row is just checking off the checkbox, because in Vuetify, the vlist and the vlist group, yeah, it just basically makes the whole thing clickable. So I'm going to have to separate the checkbox from the name here. But I really like the spacing, but I want it to only check if you're hovering over this area right here. So let me see. Yeah, this is exactly what I want. Oh, it's still clickable. So I wonder. I guess maybe if I have it outside of the label, because I'm guessing that having this as a label, yeah, of course, that's how regular HTML works. So maybe having this outside would let me have it as a link. I do lose some styling, but that's fine. So let me just not have this as a list then. Or, oh, maybe I'll take out the action then. Let's see. And then there will just be a regular checkbox. Let me shorten that. Okay. So now it's not an action for the whole row. But it still does the same thing. Oh, because it's so I'm using toggle from the template inside the vlist item. So I wonder, because regular checkboxes don't use toggle, of course. So that's just part of the vlist. So maybe if I do it outside of the slot, or just get rid of toggle. I still need a V model of some kind, but I'll have to model that off live data anyways. Okay, let me get rid of the template altogether and see if I can just have a V list without that. There we go. Okay, so at least clicking on anything else doesn't change it. I have to click directly on the checkbox. That's a start. So now how can I get rid of whatever thing that is? I wonder if I can disable this. Disabled. No, it doesn't disable it. Well, let me put back in the router link that I tried last time and see if that works. Nope. I'm pretty sure I got the same error. Yeah, because some of these routes I don't think are valid links. So maybe if I just do like a relative link in Vue. Sweet, so it does work. So this does work, but it still does the weird click action where it lights up the whole background, but that's fine. All right, and then so basically I need to just clean up my data, and I'm going to need to, in this form, because I really have no form validation here yet, so in this form I need to make sure that these are actual links, and I think Vuetify might have form validation, or I could just use like vvalidate maybe. Let's see. Validation. Oh, script. So you can do some rules, email rules. Are these built in? Oh, these seem to be custom. So I think I'm going to bring in Vue validate. This is what I usually use in Vue projects. It just works so nicely and has so many built-in things to use to build forms. So, all right, let me stop my Vue server and install that. And then register the validation provider component and add the required rule. Okay, so I could just put it in my main.js for right now. Map your inputs. Oh, right. I think this is since they upgraded, what was it, to version 3 or something? Instead of behaving more like this with the rules, they actually made it more of a wrapper, kind of like Redux forms if you've used that before. But I actually like this. It works really nicely. Okay, so let me add the, yeah. I'm not going to need to extend required. Okay, but it wants me to do that anyways, so I'll just go ahead and use it. And let me go to main.js and up here. Okay. Required form, that's fine. So I guess I can extend all of the different validation types, and I'll put this in another file. Maybe I should have a validation file somewhere. Okay, let me put it here. And then wrap, so each individual input. I thought the form was wrapped too, but maybe not. Here's 0. Type text. Oh, so the only rule is required. So if you, okay, that's fine. So let me try this. So validation provider, and then create curriculum form. Let's start off with the name and goal at the top. So all right, so it's definitely required, and I think even in the, oops, what am I doing there? See, oh, these are all front end. Let me open up the back end. So even in the curriculum file, oh, so I don't have goal or description as required actually, so it's just name. And I should let the user know about that here. So maybe I'll just put an asterisk next to it. Let's see how that looks. Oh, I forgot to rerun my Vue server. Maybe there's an icon that looks better than that, actually. Navigation provider. So I think rules, and then I'm pretty sure that vValidate does something like this. So I could say the minimum requirement is 3. Come on. Okay. Oh, that was dumb. Okay, so I wrapped the header and not the text field. All right. Well, that didn't work either. So it's not registered, of course. And I did register it, so I wonder why it's saying it's not registered. Oh, okay, so it was giving me the local. So I could do it locally just in the form, or I can have it globally. So let me do this, actually. Because then I can just replace what I already have. So oops. Oh, I don't know what it's thinking there. No such validator as required. Oh, because I removed it. So I wonder if I have to do this for every single one. Let me read through some more of this. After that, you can use it in component templates. Typically, input must have a V model. Okay. And then I can show errors. Okay, so vValidate, I guess now it doesn't come with installed with any validation rule by default. This is to keep the bundle size lean and as small as possible. The first of the function APIs is the extend function. Adding new rules with extend is straightforward and simplest form. Okay, that makes sense. So, oops, what am I doing? I'll just stick that here for right now. Okay, so I guess this is the old syntax from vValidate 2, I think. So here, I think I can just register it as a global component and use the extend there. And then eventually clean up these extends. Yeah, let me see if that works. Okay. Okay, yeah, that worked. And then all I have to do is style this error. So turn it red, and then I don't know where the margin is coming from. So I guess it's from the input. Text field details. So whatever this is below the text field. But for right now, I'm just going to give this span a class and turn it red. And I think I already have a red color. In here. Oops. So I can use maybe this EA5 color for errors. Class error text and create curriculum. So let me error text and color. I want to say my variable is red because I set up the base. So I have variables in here. Yeah, I have a red. Okay. So that should work. And now it's the red color that goes with the theme. Cool. Alright, so this is required. This isn't required. Description's not required. Now in here, I want to make sure that the next thing I want to validate is that this is a link. Okay, so I guess how this is set up now, because it's just in testing, I have it so one section automatically pops up, but eventually when you start a curriculum, it's only going to be these 3 fields, and then there'll be a button to add section, so there won't be this initial section. But once there's a section added, I'm going to make this name field required too. So I'll go ahead and put an asterisk next to that name here. And goal is not required. And then here, so if you have a resource name, you can have a name, you don't have to have a link, but if you have a link, oh yeah, I made an error, must provide resource name, okay. So if you have a link, then it has to be an actual link. So I have to use validation to make sure that's a valid address. So let me look at available rules. Of course, there's email. What would it be called? URL? Might have to use regex. Yeah. Alright, so I'm going to use this, that's fine. Where is it? Resource link. So it's going to be here. And then this text field has to go inside of that. Alright. And okay, so I have errors. What was that class? Oh, error text. I'll go ahead and do that. So give it the right error class. And then regex, I need to change this to be the correct or correctly match a URL. So I'm going to look for URL matching regex. So the perfect URL regular expression, that sounds tempting. Or I could look at Stack Overflow. Let me see what this is. Okay, there's no... Well, let me see. There's so many groups here to look at. I could copy paste this into like some kind of regex validator. Or is it regex R? I think that's my favorite one. No, maybe it is regex 101. Hey nobodies, how are you? Yeah, there's a lot here. Which is between 3 and 9 times. Well, it seems to be valid. There's more than I'm going to read right now, so I'm just going to use it and see if it works. Or I guess I can just type in a URL here. Oh, okay, so it matches as soon as I have that. Which is not exactly what I want. But plus 29 steps. Wonder if there's something better. Let me find something better. I'm good. I feel like I'm getting somewhere on this app. You were going to China soon, right? I thought you were headed to China, or was that someone else? You do not? Okay. This one looks a lot more reasonable. Okay, so it matches HTTP, which is required. And then the S is optional. The www is optional. It will match any alphanumeric character as well as these. Can you have those in domain names? I don't know. I guess you can have hyphens and stuff. I never thought about putting those things in a domain name. Okay. That seems a lot better than before. Let's try it. So pattern error. Oh, it has to be escaped. So if I escape it, okay. Yes, this is what I want. So let's match it. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, that's exactly what I want. Cool. So I'll copy that. Kind of annoying to put inline here. I guess I'll have these rule this as a custom rule somewhere else, maybe. We'll see. At least I can clean it up a little bit. All right. So, oh, but the error message will just be, I don't know what it will be, maybe just invalid? We'll see. So, new resource name, okay. So it's not actually giving me any error at all. So I wonder why. Let me look back at the rules. This rule is inferred when, okay. Look at that, the field format is invalid. So how do I put a custom message? Oh, it's regex. So it seems like my regex should be working, but it's not giving me an error here. So I wonder, let me see if the error text even shows up. You mean for vvalidate? Yeah, so I guess since it's object, it should be something like message, right? Shouldn't it be? The nice thing about Vue is usually these things are exactly what you think they might be, like jQuery. So message. No, it's vvalidate. So actually, Vuetify does have some validation, which I could use, but I just really like vvalidate. I don't know, maybe I should use this if it would be easier. It just seems like you have to custom build all of your rules for each form element in your data, which, I don't know, maybe it's okay. Yeah, and it seems like stuff that's so common like email testing should be built in too. But this is a very like primitive validation. But I'm wondering why vvalidate isn't working. View text field slot. Okay, so here, like when I'm entering here, no, here. Let me see if this comes up. Where is it? Inspect. So the span error text is below the v input whatever. So where is it? Here. So it would be below this. So let me see. And there, it just doesn't appear at all. Oh no, it is there. It is there, but I guess there's no error in it. Okay. Even though it should, maybe this regex is too much for it. It's weird. I can get rid of the second capture group because it doesn't matter for what I'm doing really. So I think this will still match a URL. Yeah, it will. So let me just simplify that because I don't really need to capture it for anything or to make sure the rest is. So let me see. Oops. Oops. Let me see if that works. I wonder. So why don't I try using this? No, I'll try. Where's my required one? Let me try to make one of the fields around this required and just see. Oops, no. Yeah, so that shows up. So I wonder if it's something with Vuetify's interaction. Hi, how are you? Welcome to the stream. So I think for some reason it's just not seeing this. I wonder if I could, let me just do a number thing. So, what is it, 0 through 9 plus will match numbers. So, nope, doesn't match anything. So what if I just did required instead of the object syntax? Okay, so now it shows it as required. So it's not reading this. Let me try that. But it is working in the documentation. Let me see if I can find it. Not required. So here's the regex. And brand name, pattern. I don't see pattern anywhere here. Am I supposed to have pattern here maybe? I wonder if they have examples that add the brackets. Oh, around this? Let me see. Yeah, you might be right. No. Nope. For some reason the object syntax just isn't working. Because this should be... Yeah, it works fine here. So... I wonder if I need... So here I capture the URL. I don't know if I need this part, do I? Oh yeah, because it might be dot something, dot something. Okay, whatever. I wonder, let me see the validate URL validation if someone just has an example. Oh, this is version 2. Yeah, I don't want version 2. Alright. Move this one. Actually, I guess just any object syntax would be fine. Alright, let me try. I guess I could try. I think I already tried exactly what they have here. Alright. Oh, I'm wondering, so... Oh, I didn't see your message. You can set the error directly on the Vueify component error message or something. Yeah, that might be nicer. Is that just in the Vueify? I guess that's just in the Vueify library. Yeah, maybe I'll just use Vueify. That's kind of annoying. But I'm not sure why the object syntax isn't working here. It might be because, so I have the click event. The only thing I can think of is when you hit enter, or the key up event, it runs this function, so maybe I'm intercepting whatever Vuetify is doing. That could be it. Maybe. Or, sorry, I might be intercepting whatever vValidate was doing. Oh, let me get rid of that too. Are you testing the right input? Yeah, this is the right input, and the required one worked in the input above it, so this error worked there. But yeah, let me test, because this would give me a styled, even though I don't like this syntax really, this would give me a styled error, so it might be worth it to use Vuetify. So let me try Vuetify. So I can have a rule here, so I'll try on the URL field and see if it works. So we're getting mixed up. Okay, here it is. So on the URL field, I'll do URL rules. There's so many things I want to do, and an hour just goes by so fast. I guess I'll probably stay another 15-20 minutes or so. So URL rules, and then can I name 5 countries? I think so. I'd like to think so. Are you from South America? Put this at the top. I should wrap all of these inside a form object. I will in a minute. URL rules. Let's see. Counter. No, okay. Okay. So I guess if you're quizzing me, I guess Argentina, Chile, that's how you pronounce it. Brazil, Venezuela, Peru. Some gold answers? You mean answers as in people didn't know what countries were in South America? Okay. Yes. So where did I put? Oh, it's in here. So let me copy this. And actually now I might as well just copy the whole, this whole regex again. Oh yeah. Okay. So URL rules, and then what was the other thing I needed on that? Let me go here. So I have the URL rules, and then it seems like I don't need an error. Was that what you were saying earlier? Yeah, that's how development goes. Yeah, I wish, like, I have such a list of things to do, and it feels like it's just, you know, going on over so many weeks. I might add in one more live stream per week. What were you doing with functional components? Are you talking about React, or like functional programming in general? No, doesn't work yet. So I have URL rules. So let me see what else I need. So the rules for the text field, and then I don't need required. So let me look at this email field. See, so the rules, email rules. Does it not validate unless you have required? Oh, do I need? No, I don't need that. Let's see. Do I need a V model in the form? Let's see. I think that's just for form submission. You're saying the rule has to be a function? Or here, this needs to be a function? And then you do something like value.test. Here it's just saying I just need basically the variable, the variable value. Oh, okay. Yeah, you're right. Don't know why I didn't catch that. So, okay. Let me get rid of what I just did there. And here, and then, oops. So I don't want that. This is such an awkward, odd syntax, I think. Okay, so the v.test, so that's where I test the regex in, basically. No? Let's see. So here, oh, okay, it's regex.test, yeah. So that's a JavaScript function. Oops. Test. And then I put the V, right? Yeah. Okay. Name must be, oh, that was my error. Okay. Yay, thank you for your help. So the value must, or I could just say must be valid URL. Yeah, that makes sense. And this error looks nicer, I guess, because it also changes everything to red, like the underline, rather than v-validate, which I think, I mean, there should be some kind of plugin. Yeah, so I guess I wasn't following how you should use it for Vuetify. Shows all the different UI component libraries. Oh well, I'm just not going to be using that anymore. So I wonder if required Like, okay, let me get rid of this. And these. I wonder if just putting required here is enough to kick in the default validation for Vuetify. No, it's not. So I'd still have to do the same thing for this field. And then so I could do name rules and must be less than, no, name must be I don't know how many characters that would be. What do I have in the database? Oh, I don't actually have max length set on any of these, but so it really doesn't matter what I put here. So for right now, I'll just make that required. Name is required. Oh, I didn't put rules in here yet. Rules equals name rules. There, now its name is required. I think you can still use the Vue validate if you want to. Okay, so I could do it manually with this. Oh, and it even has, I guess I didn't look at this too deeply. So it even has how to use it with Vue validate. Although I think that this is version 2, not 3. Yeah, this is Vue validate version 2. So I guess somewhere on this page it would let me, like you said, set it to be invalid. Oh well, I'm fine with using this kind of validation for right now. So basically the only form validation I have is that this field is required and this field is required if there's a section, but I don't have that validation yet. And then this field has to be a valid URL. Let me make sure that works. Okay, so that works. And then this we have custom handling because if nothing's here, you can't add a new resource. So yeah, and I'll have to fix that. So actually here is where I should use whatever API Vuetify has so I can pass in that this field is invalid. So that way the styles match, because right now this is just extra text that I have in there. So I should set that field manually as invalid. And then what other form validation? So really I just need to make it so sections require you to have a name and then pass, I guess when the field is, no, I guess anytime, yeah, just like I am right now, but pass in and say that this field is invalid. So those are the two things I have left for validation. It's been an hour and 11 minutes, so I really should wrap this up. Let me see. I guess I could try, let me see if this is going to be quick. the section name validation. So I don't have anything here right now. Oh no, this is the beginning name. So this one is section.name. Oh, and by the way, the error that I said I was having with name, I guess I'm getting it here still, where it deselects, but for some reason it just does that when I call it name, because if I say that this field is something else, like I use the goal field here or something, then it works just fine, and I could call it something else like name2, and it works just fine. So there's something with section.name that vValidate, or no, that Vuetify isn't working correctly with it, so I'm going to have to take another look at that. Anyways, so if I make this required, so I guess what I'm going to have to do is yeah, I can do the same thing I did up here, because this field won't even be on the page if they haven't added a section yet. So I'll just use the same validation for it. So where is it? These two things. Yeah, something about name, it just, I don't know what it is. And it's weird too, because it's not even name, like there's context to it, it's section.name. Because I could see where there might be conflicts with just using name, but section.name, it seems just weird. So name rules, okay. So name is required now, that's good. It's still unfocusing, and it's still doing that weird, where are my events? The weird double input thing. Was that a triple input? I think that was a mistake. Oh, now it's a triple input. Oh, I don't know what's going on. Okay. Now it's giving me 3 input events instead of just 1. Oh well. So yeah, now I have this is required, the other name, this is validating. Oh, right. So I need to, if this has an error in it, I don't want to be able to save the resource, which I think you can do right now. Let me put test. Okay. Yeah, so I'm going to have to fix that. Down here in my function. Oh, my function, where is it? Add. So add item. Must provide. So here, so I'm going to have to do another check. If there's anything in the resource link, then I could either just throw it away, which isn't intuitive for the user, I guess. So it should really stop them from saving the resource. And actually, I should just disable this button if what they're doing isn't valid here. Yeah, so maybe next stream I'll work on first thing making the button disabled and fixing this validation. I guess I should have done this back with what I was doing on the forum. But yeah, I'm going to call it a night for right now. So thanks for tuning in again. Have a great night, and I'll be back on Vue forum This vModel is valid. Yeah, I have a vForm that wraps this whole thing actually. So I should, yeah, you're right, I do need a vModel for the whole form, but that wouldn't affect this, just this one button. That would be the save button up here. So I don't think I should be nesting forms inside of forms. So I think I'm going to manually disable this button because this is just a button for 2 inputs here. So yeah, like I was saying, have a good night, and I'll see you I'll be back on Sunday at 12 Eastern time. So thanks for tuning in.